Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Lambert, editor for the LVN newsletter. And this month we are shining the spotlight on LVN member Esther Bowers, who is the Chief Practice Innovation Officer at Honigman. Esther, thanks for letting us shine the spotlight on you this month.
Happy to be here, Greg.
All
Thanks for
right.
having
Well,
me.
I was looking at your title as Chief Practice Innovation Officer and thinking about how that really kind of signals the transformation, a lot of the transformation that we're seeing. So let's start with the big broad question. So what does innovation look like on a day-to-day basis there at Honigman, and how does it show up in how your teams deliver your legal services?
So, our innovation group consists of a number of different disciplines. So, we bring together LPM, pricing, knowledge management, practice technology, alternative staffing, a number of different areas together,
Wow.
which means, yes, that we deliver comprehensive services to our practices. So if someone comes to us and they're like, this is our problem, we not only solve that problem, but we add and innovate on top of that. We say, look, we can do this, but let's think about how we price that a little differently. How about we staff that a little bit differently? And so we just continue to introduce new ways of practicing and new ways of thinking and new ways of delivering service to our clients.
Are you finding that the attorneys are receptive to that, that they're appreciating the extra help that you're giving them?
They are a very receptive and eager bunch. They are hungry for this. I mean, not all the time, but
Yeah.
we love to meet them where they are. And many of our people on the team are client facing. So to the fact they have they're coming from the vantage point of having the voice of the client. They've heard the voice of the client, and so they can speak to that. They have that awareness of what clients are wanting and can align our services and our practices accordingly. So just being able to guide and counsel our attorneys with that in mind and goes a long way.
Yeah. As that goes along, are you seeing the expectation on the client side to interact with the members of your team as on a consistent basis?
They have, yes, they have explicitly asked for some of the members of our team to be staffed on their matters. Yes.
Oh, good. That must make you feel good.
That is a shining moment. Yes, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about LVN. And I know as someone who's helped build a community in LVN from the inside, let's talk about your role as co-chair for LVNX for 2025 and for 2026. And what has that meant for you both personally and professionally?
Well, you've given me about a month since the end of
Have you had a chance to
2024.
take a breath?
So, yes, it's been a good you've given me just the right amount of time to take a break. But gosh, what a journey it's been so far and so meaningful. The relationships, I'd say let's start with personal. The
Hmm.
relationships that it has afforded me to build and create and develop are just bring so much value to my life. They enhance me in so many ways that alone has been worth every minute I've dedicated to this role. But professionally, I see that I have a great deal of responsibility here. I have had the benefit of many people pouring into me and being mentors and being contributing to my career success and to my advancement. And I see that I have the responsibility of doing the same for others. And one of the ways that I can do that is to serve in this role. And for 2024 in particular, Aaron Borsman and I came together and we said, what is the vision for this next year? What do we really want to do? Where do we see this the practice of law and the legal industry going? And we really came up with like transformation. We see the members of the LVN community being catalysts for change. And how do we just support and come alongside and feel like we give the members of our community just the the content and the necessary means to drive that change. And so that is what we really felt we needed to deliver on in 2024. So expect to see a bit of that carry through in 2025. I'm excited for to start to get to work with Shanna on what 2025 will bring us.
Yeah. I hate to break this to you, but we're in 2025, so it's
Oh,
actually
excuse me,
2026.
2026. Yes, 2026. Oh my gosh.
That's alright. It all runs together when you've been in it,
Living in
this
the
long.
past. Goodness gracious.
Well, speaking of change, I know that, LVN members, the folks that are doing roles that like you and your team are doing, they're under pressure to drive change and efficiency. But really, that's coming because the lawyers and the law firms themselves are under pressure to drive efficiency and, kind of look at how they're doing value, how they're looking at outcomes. So, as someone who understands this change, where do you think the biggest opportunities are for real change in what we're doing?
Well, I think the opportunities exist in kind of examining how work moves through the firm, but really starting in how the work originates with the client, how they're doing it, what goals they're trying to achieve, and then where that pass off happens. How do we help them on the front end so that when it gets to us, we can deliver on it in the best way possible. But then when we receive it, to be able to think through what is the best process, staffing, technology, because often I think, okay, well, change means technology. No, we really need to rethink that. So end to end, how does that work move through our firm? And that's a way that we have biggest opportunity for change.
Well, and looking at your perspective again, because you've been highly involved in LVN. If you were talking with a peer at another firm that may not be part of LVN, how do you talk to them about the ways that LVN serves as a platform for firms and for clients to kind of bridge these gaps between that intention and that action that comes to innovation. And again, I like what you said, where innovation does not equal technology, in and of itself. So, what do you tell your peers about that?
Yeah, just to be able to hear how clients are thinking, opening up the conversation. Here, I mean, I was in a session. I was like, "Where's everyone else?" I thought the room would be packed. You have two people, two on the client side, for 3 hours talking about what they're doing in house, how they're thinking about how work gets outsourced. I mean, I want to hear that. That's why I come, right? And they're essentially opening up the opportunity to have that dialogue with outside counsel. They're inviting that conversation. And that's what LVN provides. They provide the LVN platform provides the opportunity to um, have the conversation across the aisle, ask the questions in an environment where both are coming to the community with an open mind and a desire to have that relationship, a desire to drive that change. And so we have conversations that sometimes are uncomfortable. I have to be honest, I'm a little uneasy when we started talking about the billing rates, but that's part of this, right? If we want to reach a better way of working together, we have to move through some of those uncomfortable conversations, which happen at LVN in a way that's a very comfortable, inviting environment.
Yeah. Well, I know your work is all about future forward thinking, but let's back up a little bit. And so, for my final question, what do you turn to outside of work to help you kind of both stay creative and energized, but also, I think, kind of recover? What do you do outside of work then?
So I don't know if recovery ever happens, but all forms of like working out and being outside in some sort of a sporting activity. I also enjoy watching my children do something that they love, usually some form of a sport or some form of musical instrument, although my daughter is learning the recorder and played hot cross buns, like, endlessly last
Ah,
night, so that does not energize me or make me be more creative, but all the other things definitely
just wait till
do.
they pick up the violin or drums. That's when it gets fun.
Those things are in the basement, so that's where those things stay, but the recorder is very easy to move around the house. Yeah, so, yeah, usually those are the types of things that energize me.
All right. Well, Esther Bowers, Chief Practice Innovation Officer there at Honigman. I want to thank you very much for coming in and letting us shine the LVN spotlight on you this month. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Greg.